Hello guys, it's Asan Khurram here with again another video that is in the series of marketing analytics with Python. So today we are going to discuss about customer segmentation using Python, where will have a bunch of columns such as the demographic, the profits, the gender, the age distribution that can help us or a business to distinguish customers based on those characteristics and derive some useful outcomes out of it. So why you might ask me what is segmentation? Dividing customers into meaningful group for personalized marketing objectives, such as running personalized marketing ad to that particular group. And to identify some common dimensions and the use of common dimensions such as demographics, age and gender and behavior like profit and order. So let's move on and actually exercise that concept with the practical programming skill sets. So first of all, what we are doing here we are creating another column in within the data frame df, and we are naming it as profit underscore segment, and we are using a method called qcut of pandas. We are using a function called qcut of pandas library. What it actually does, it actually kind of categorize data based on the value equally spaced data set. For example, here you do see that I'm passing three input arguments. The first input argument is actually the data that has to be segmented, and the second input argument is q is equal to 3. It means that we want to divide the data, or we want to categorize that data based on this specific column in three equal parts. Here I said q is equal to 3, so here you will have something like quantiles. So one quantile will start from 0 to 33, the second quantile will start with 32 to 66, and the last one will start from 66 to 100. And based on those quantiles, we want to label those quantities. Those who lies in the first quantile will be labeled as low and medium, and finally with the high value. So this is how you can actually quantile those additional or label the customers based on those particular column. Now, once we have that, we are simply using this head method that will allow us to display only the specific column as we have defined in the list, where first few rows of the column will be displayed here. So here do you see that we have customer ID, we have total profit, and with that total profit, we have created a new column which is called profit segment, and you do see that it has a value of low, medium, high, which is based on this quantile that we have created. Once we have that, let's move on and talk about group by uh, function that we do have in the pandas library. So here we are initializing a variable named segment underscore summary, and just like the previous case, if you recall my previous videos, here we are kind of categorizing the data set based on this particular column called profit segment. What it will do, it will separate those values for that particular column profit segment, which has only high, low and medium. And once it creates the separate groups, it will calculate the aggregate values. Here the aggregate values are two things. First one is the age column, then second one is subsequent orders count, and it will calculate the mean value for every individual segment that we have created in the profit segment. So once we have that, we are using the function of pandas library that is applicable to this two series, and here we are plotting the bar chart that is being plotted side by side. So the aggregate age, the aggregate subsequent order count will be plotted in the form of bar chart with one another. So here we have low, here we have medium, here we have high. So what we can actually see here, that subsequent order count made by age group that is subsequently high tends to give us the higher amount of profit, as they suggest that they lie in the high category of profit segment. In the same way, we can further segment the customer based on other things as well. So here we have created, we are creating a count plot from seaborn library, and we are passing three input arguments. First one is x is equal to profit segment, which actually give us like, okay, what are the unique values that we want to count for a particular column. Here the column is profit underscore segment. And the second thing is we define the data frame. So here in our case is df, so we define data is equal to df. Finally, you define the color pattern as well. So in our case, we want it to be cool warm, and finally we have title, and we will render the plot in our notebook environment. It will look something like that. And finally, this is kind of an advanced plot, but to give you a context here, what we actually doing here, where instead of like having a single y-axis, we are kind of having dual y-axis, one for the average age and one for the average subsequent order count, and even the type nature of the plot for the subsequent order count has been changed to a line plot. I hope this tutorial have been helpful to you. I will be uploading further tutorials for specifically for marketing analytics with Python.